Okay, so 7 o'clock.
7:30.
7:30, sorry. Welcome to members of the public, press, officers and members. First of all, we'll start with apologies. I think we've got two, Julian McGee-Sumner and Julian Simon. Thank you very much indeed. We've got a couple of deputy executive members who are here substituting tonight, so welcome to Shahid Yunus. And also we've got Charles Margetts as well substituting. They unfortunately are unable to vote on the recommendations, but they are here nonetheless to contribute to the questions and also to the reports that have been submitted to the executive. We'll start tonight with the minutes of the previous meetings. There are two. The one was held on the 28th of March and then an extraordinary meeting held on the 16th of May. So first of all, the first meeting, which was held on the 29th of March, the minutes are on page 7 to 17. We'll turn to those first. Does anyone have any comments or alterations they would like to make? No. So if everyone approves those, please can you show your hands? Thank you very much indeed. Okay. The extraordinary meeting minutes are held on, printed on pages 19 to 27. Does anyone have any comments or amendments that they would like to make to those? Councillor Norman Robinson.
I'd just like to point out I did give my apologies several times, quite some time before the meeting, so I'd like that recorded, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll note that. Any other amendments? Okay, thank you. All those in favour of the minutes? Thank you very much indeed. Okay, I'll sign those off. Item number 3 is declarations of interest. Councillor Pauline Jorgensen.
Could I declare an interest in item 6 shareholders report as I'm a paid non-exec director of WBC Holdings?
Thank you very much indeed. Councillor Philip Murphy.
I need to declare a personal interest in agenda item 6 shareholders report as I'm a paid non-executive director of Optimus Holdings Limited.
Thank you. Councillor Stuart Monroe.
I need to declare a personal interest in agenda item number 6 as well. From the shareholders reports, I'm a paid non-executive director of WBC Holdings.
Thank you. Councillor Charles Margetts.
I need to declare a personal interest in agenda item 6 shareholders report as I'm paid non-executive director of Optalis Holdings.
Councillor Norman Robinson.
I need to declare a personal interest in that my wife is a director of the holding company, so that's item 6 as well.
Thank you very much indeed. Before we move on to the substantive items, Philip Murphy has got a statement to read.
Thank you, Chairman. We're all very shocked to learn of the incident at the former Paddocks car park on Bank Holiday Monday. Our thoughts are very much with the victim during this difficult time. Wokingham is a safe town. Incidents like this are rare, but nonetheless reports of this nature will quite understandably cause concern in our community. We are reviewing the area in the light of the incident and will very shortly be installing CCTV on the walkway through from the former Paddocks car park. We will of course assist Thames Valley Police with the ongoing investigation as appropriate, but if anyone has any information related to this case, I would urge you to call 101 or contact Crime Stoppers anonymously. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Okay, moving on to item number 4, the agenda, the public question time. We have a period of 30 minutes for this, but I'm not sure whether Maria Stone is here at the time. So, okay. We'll move on from that agenda item and we'll move on to member question time this evening. So, member question time, just a reminder, there's a period of 20 minutes that's allowed for member question time submitted under notice. And I'll also remind members who are answering the questions that they have 2 minutes to answer those questions. So we'll start with the first question tonight, which is 5.1, which is Councillor Ian Pittock, and it's to Shahid Yunus tonight. Thank you.
Can the appropriate executive member advise me what arrangements have been made for public access to the new leisure facilities at Arborfield Green in particular during school hours?
Thank you, Mr. Petit, for asking the question. Having recently signed our new 15-year leisure contract with Places for People, we're delighted to say that from Monday, 15th of May 2018, our Field Leisure Centre is in the full operation of the members of the public. A full program of activities has now been developed, including spinning, aerobics, a 50-station gym, 8 badminton courts, which are also marked out for netball, basketball, football and handball, with an outstanding climbing wall ready to use, as well as a new 3G pitch, 2 netball courts and 3 tennis courts with all floodlights. Grass football pitches will be available from September 2018, ready for the new 2018-19 football season. Opening hours for the gym, studio and spinning studios are from 7:30 to 10 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sunday 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The sports hall will be available to the public from 5:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Monday to Friday and all day at the weekends. Taking fully into account the lease arrangements and safeguarding with Bournemouth School, the ground floor will be available to the school Monday to Friday during the school term. If members of the public wish to view these new facilities, I will arrange for a member of the staff to show potential members around the leisure centre.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Thank you, yes, I'm glad to see them open. Yeah, excellent. Residents were promised that if we kept the huge MOD gym rather than knock it down and build in a standard school gym, that residents would be given access to the main hall containing the rock wall during the school day. They would not be locked out from this overly large hall. Aren't your arrangements contrary to the promises made to residents?
Can I come back to you on that one? And a bit more detailed or considered response.
Okay.
We can come back with the exact details of the rock wall and access to it. Thank you. The next question is Councillor Gary Cowan. If you'd like to come forward, please.
With the unfortunate loss of one person who's putting a lot of effort in sorting out the current and future traffic problems around Wokingham, in line with the overwhelming support from Council, which is only set to get much worse. Who will lead on this?
Thank you, Councillor Cowan. As per my announcement at full council last week, Councillor Keith Baker will continue to lead on highways, which will now also include strategic transport matters. For highways issues related to very specifically around the Wokingham Town Centre regeneration, Councillor Philip Murphy will lead on these matters.
Thank you.
Do you have supplementary?
Yes, I was very impressed with the press release and progress with the pretty pictures, but it raised the point, was or is there a set end date for this work, and if so, what is or was it?
Sorry, I don't know which press release you were.
When you come, I'll give you a simple example. I asked a very similar question of officers for the Shinfield bypass, and I said, is there a scheduled date for the completion of this works? The answer I got was, we are only the licensing authority, we have no say in the end date. And the point we're trying to make is, the work that's going on in the town centre, which is causing all the chaos, I'm assuming that as a council, that when you put that contract in place, you actually agreed with the developer there would be an end date for that work. And I'm just asking you, what is or what was the end date for that contract?
You alluded first of all to the Shinfield Eastern Relief Road. With that, we were not the contractor. Hockteeth was contracted by the University of Reading, so we were not in control of that contract. With regards to the town centre, as you will no doubt be aware, once they started to uncover what was underneath in the town centre, there was a huge number of pipes and a complete spaghetti of different works that were laid on top of each other over, decades and decades, and it was a lot more complicated than was originally thought. So it has taken longer than was expected. In terms of the final date, I can get that to you, and unless I don't
Maybe Philip.
I would be interested in what
So-
was the scheduled final date and what
Okay,
is the
so
likely
the
final date.
schedule at the moment is to finish at the end of July. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. The next question tonight is Councillor Chris Smith. And it's a question for Councillor Keith Baker.
Can I have an update on recent and planned works on bus stops in Early?
First of all, I must sincerely apologise to councillors for my incomplete answer to your question at last week's full council around road activity in Hillside. My answer was given in good faith, based on the information provided to me. I was as surprised as you were when comments on social media indicated activity on a bus stop further down Ryhill Way. I have escalated this to the highest level, as withholding information either deliberately or by accident is simply not acceptable. Full-scale investigation is currently underway by the relevant director, and local councillors will be kept fully informed of any outcome from this. Now, the project around bus stops in Early has almost been completed. In all cases other than the two on Ryhill Way, the other lay-bys simply require a refreshment of the markings and have been completed. So what about these two lay-bys? Why are they different? We sincerely apologise again for the unexpected and unavoidable delay in completing the works at Ryhill Way bus lane and the works that are now taking place at Rosemary Avenue. To give you a brief overview of what caused delays at Ryhill Way, a standard design, which had been implemented elsewhere across the borough, was used as part of the construction originally, and no unusual issues were identified at the time. However, undulations on the surface were brought to our attention, and deeper excavations took place which identified unexpected and unusual ground conditions. Our contractor undertook ground testing of the exposed problem area, and based on these results, a final solution was agreed and the works were completed last week. Both Ryhill Way and Rosemary Avenue bus laybys were originally part of the same project, and the initial works were carried out at the same time. When the ground testing was carried out at the other bus lay-by, the team decided as a precaution it would be wise to check the Rosemary Avenue bus lay-by as well. Similar undulations were also found in Rosemary Avenue. Testing was also carried out, and the results came back similar to that of the Ryhill Way bus lay-by, but not as severe. However, to avoid another long and drawn-out situation, it was decided that the same successful resolution used at Ryhill should be carried out at the Rosemary Avenue bus lay-by. Furthermore, it should be started as soon as possible, which was this week, with a scheduled completion of Tuesday the 5th of June, subject to weather conditions.
Do you have a second?
Yes, I do. Firstly, thank you for arranging most of the works during half term. That's a busy road that leads up to one of the main primary schools in Hillside, so at least a lot of the works will be less disruptive. But given the issues with the Ryhill Way bus stop, particularly the lack of communications I and my fellow councillors in the ward received, I was incredibly disappointed to find out about the works on the bus stop only once they had started. Indeed, I received a written response from you at 6:15 on the Tuesday, stating that there were no planned works other than the Red Hatch Drive resurfacing, at which point the contractors would already have been on site and had equipment there. So what will be changed to ensure that I and other councillors are kept informed about these works in the future?
Well, I've already said that a detailed investigation at the highest level is going on. As soon as the outcome of that is known, I will communicate that with the Hillside councillors so that they understand what happened. And I'm expecting the directors to put in place measures to make sure that that never happens again. I felt extremely embarrassed giving an answer which was not complete. I'd never want to be in that position again, and I will make sure it doesn't happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. The next question tonight is from Councillor Harry Bath, and it's to Councillor Charles Moggetts.
Thank you, Chair. Working for council housing companies such as WHL, Loddon Homes, etc. have been building affordable homes for some time now, but little exposure is available to the outside world. Would the exec member please provide details of the current and future build plans and provide details of the types of houses rented or sold?
Thank you. Last year was a landmark year for council's housing companies, with 123 affordable homes reaching completion. Whilst there's not time to go through all of this, I would mention in particular the 68 general needs homes at Phoenix, 34 rented extra care homes at Foster's, and a supported housing scheme for 9 vulnerable young people in Reading Road. Wokingham Housing is firming up proposals for its future development programme, which includes 140 new homes, with 30 homes currently on site across the borough, e.g. Norton Road in Wokingham, 3 houses to rent, and 6 apartments for shared ownership, as well as 2 shared ownership homes in Ruscombe. Also, the housing companies will purchase 22 apartments at Peach Place for key workers. Looking ahead, of course, there's the Gorse Ride estate in Finchampstead, which will be a major project for our housing companies. The planning application for phase 1 in Arnett Avenue is expected next month, while work continues on the rest of the programme. The overall regeneration project at Gorse Ride will provide a total of around 290 new homes, a net gain of 80. And of course, as they say, there's always more to come.
Thank you. Do you have a supplementary?
I do, thank you. There were actually 4 affordable flats built in my ward in Anson Walk on wasteland that was being misused by kids, and antisocial behaviour was rife, and the locals actually asked me what could we do with this piece of land, and I identified that plot of land to WHL, and they very successfully built 4 flats. They were completed in January, and I believe some of them are unoccupied. And I'm just wondering, why are they still unoccupied? It's now May, end of, and when will they be occupied?
I don't know the answer to that at the moment, but I'll be very happy to find out and come back to you directly.
We'll get an answer to you for that. Thank you. Okay, the next question tonight is from Imogen Shepherd Bay. Would you like to come and answer? And I believe it's for Councillor Keith Baker.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to ask the following question on the Revenue Monitoring 2017-2018 outline, which is in the agenda. Page 43 of the General Fund Summary carried forward refers to school crossing patrollers. It states that the budget spend is aligned with the phased approach to ending the delivery of the SCP service. Does this mean that Wokingham Borough Council is intending to remove all the school crossing patrollers, regardless of the results of the consultations and the concerns of parents and local residents?
Thank you, Imogen, for your question. Your proposition that the lack of a budget item automatically means ignoring the results of the consultation is unfortunately way too simplistic. All consultation responses are extensively reviewed to see if they are appropriate first, and if so, how extensive is that view. As an example, in April 2017, from phase 1 of this action, a significant proportion of the comments received related to general road safety issues, i.e. poor driving, speeding vehicles, inconsiderate parking. In the current consultation, which is currently being finalised, the general road safety issues raised were dangerous driving, speeding vehicles again, and poor parking. None of these issues are reduced or removed by the presence of a school crossing patroller, so that those issues are not appropriate for this particular action. Phase 1 patrollers were removed from the 8 locations where they were operating on some form of pedestrian crossing. May I remind you that a pedestrian crossing has far more power to stop traffic than a patroller, often putting their lives at risk, stepping into the road to stop the traffic. All drivers are used to stopping when someone steps onto the crossing, as they encounter them all over the borough and all over the country. Unlike a patroller, where there are only 15 of them initially across the whole borough, so a driver may never ever encounter one. They are also available 24 hours a day, and not just around school times, so the overall safety of crossing that road is improved significantly. So all residents benefit, not just the parents and children. Importantly, this change has been successfully implemented in phase 1, with no recorded increase in safety issues. In 2015, this council made a decision to remove all patrollers, but only where there was a viable, safe mechanism crossing the road for parents and children. This requirement was a key reason for the delay you mentioned. That work has now been completed, and each of the locations where the remaining 7 patrollers operate are planned to have pedestrian crossings of some form before the start of the new academic year in September. Can I just one sentence left? As with phase 1, when they have been installed, the patrollers will then be phased out.
Do Do you have a supplementary?
Yes, I do. I'm afraid I rather disagree with the statement that patrols do not. In no way can an automated crossing anticipate how children are going to behave and how cars are going to behave. It just is impossible. But going on that, when are the parents going to see the results of the consultation, and will they be involved in it?
As I said already, that the consultation is currently being put together, and that will be made public when that's probably in the next couple of weeks, something like that. But I may remind you that the decision has already been taken to take the action, and so the applicant, the people who've commented, will clearly be interested, but there is no grounds for changing our action.
Thank you. The next question is from Councillor Lucy Ferris.
Good evening. Page 44 of the agenda clearly shows how the council is eating into its reserves. As of the 31st of March 2017, the council reserves stood at £10.036 million. At this meeting, this figure, as of the 31st of March 2018, now stands at £7.525 million, a drop of £2.511 million over the last 12 months. This represents a fall of over 25% in the general fund balance, also known as the reserves. This £2.511 million also represents an overspend of circa 3% in the council tax. Clearly, the ruling administration is losing control of costs. Can the executive member explain how he intends to rectify this issue?
Thank you for your question. I don't think it will come as a surprise to you that I don't accept that the ruling administration is losing control of its costs. First point I would make is the like-for-like comparison to the £10 million reserve you quote here at 31st of the 3rd 17 is 9.1 million, at the 31st of the 3rd 18 not 7.5 million. This is a reduction of less than 10%, not the 25% claimed.
From the tables, from the pages, I'm sorry.
Well, I stand by that. Throughout the year, we've reported the significant budget pressures faced as a result of the increases in adults and children's costs. To give you some headlines for that, basically to stand behind it, our demand for child protection plans, up to April 2017, 50 children. Up to April 2018, 139 children, 178% increase. Children in care, April 17, 73. March 18, 106, 45% increase. The same is replicated across adult services also. Adult mental health assessment, quarter 3, 2017 to 18, 199 assessments. For all of 2016-17, 202. And a 40% increase on top of that over the last 3 years generally in people accessing adult social care services. These are all statutory services, so we have to accept the demand basically that's coming in. We have a long-standing record of strong financial management at this council, which includes the close monitoring of our expenditure and putting measures in place to control escalating costs and ensuring that we have a safe level of reserves. I'm confident we'll continue to do this, despite the severely escalating care needs of the community, which, as I'm sure you're aware, is an issue which is national, not unrelated to Woking, not simply related to Woking.
Okay, do you have a supplementary?
Yes, I'd like you to turn to page 44, because on page 44 it says general fund balances of 31/3/2017, 10,036, appendix C. And a bit further down it says general fund balance 31/3 after carry forwards 7.525. I therefore challenge your figures that you have just said to me. And I would like to explain, I'd like you to explain why my comments are incorrect, because I can't see any difference. 10.036 and 7.725 minus 2.511 million. So I significantly challenge your figures. I think it shows that the council can add up. My question now is that we've lost a quarter of our balance by those figures in 1 year. Do you feel, and I accept the aspects of the figures and increased responsibilities, and I understand the constraints, but we have to bear that. I would actually say then, do you consider both the February 17 and the February 18 budgets to have been safe?
The answer to your question is the difference between the figure you're using and the figure I quoted is the 17-18 carry forward request total, which is listed bottom line but one on there. But if you wish to discuss that further, I'm very happy to continue that outside this
That's
meeting.
carry forward issues and overspend.
Well, as I said, I don't agree necessarily. I'm happy to continue that discussion outside this meeting. And the final answer to your question, yes, from all the information I've seen and all the information I'm aware of, I do believe that the budget is safe.
Thank you very much for your question. We have come to the end of the 20 minutes, but I will ask whether the executive would like to waive Rule 5.4.40 of the Constitution in order to extend from 20 minutes to 30 minutes the time of questions.
There's only one question because Carl's.
Yeah.
Quite. So all those in favour? Okay.
We want to hear you, Andy.
I know you do. Not as much as I like to hear.
We realise that.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for the extra time. I'll just ask the last sentence of the question. Can the defects at Phoenix be quantified? And why is managing them hard work?
Thank you for your question.
Thank you for your question. I've got a lot of detail here, which I'm happy to share with you if it would help. I don't rather take up, it would take up more than 2 minutes to go through all those details. You're right, the scale of defects at Phoenix Avenue can be quantified, and it's been an area of priority for WHL to get in the mix. I'll send you the detail by email. It's also been challenging because we have concerns that all the reports of the defects from our tenants were being recorded by the contractor, so we've got involved in that as well. That even when definitely recorded, little or no action was being taken by Hill. We've had some difficulties with this contractor in this regard. WHL have also invested time in working directly with the tenants now, getting involved in the detail, so that no defects are missed by the contractor. We now have a weekly update session with them. As a result, all but 3 of the currently known about reported defects have appointments booked and have the issues attended to, and WH ongoing monitoring suggests that all defects reported by tenants are now effectively being recorded by the contractor. But I will show you a lot more of the detail, percentages and
Thank you, appreciate it.
Do you have a supplement?
I do. Given what I'm guessing is quite extensive list of defects, was the Prime Minister told about them when she visited?
I don't know the answer to that question because I wasn't there. I was actually on holiday at the time. But I don't know the answer to that question. Please.
I was there, and the Prime Minister spent a lot of time talking to a lot of residents, and I'm sure any residents that were upset about any defects would have taken the opportunity to share that with her. Generally what I saw when I talked to the residents was they were delighted with the new houses. They were really pleased to have somewhere decent to live that we provided rather than the previous sofa surfing and spare bedrooms that they were using, and I really think it's a really good development. We need to fix the issues, but I'm sure that the residents will have shared any issues they had directly with the Prime Minister. They certainly had plenty of time to talk to them.
I was thinking more from officers and contractors.
I would just state that the number of defects are not huge, bearing in mind the number of houses that have been provided on that estate. We'll share the data with you, just to say that, just in case anyone was going away with a different impression. Okay. It's a snagging list, exactly. Yes, okay. I don't see Carl here tonight, so he will get a written response to his question. Okay, on to the matters for consideration. Item number 6 on the agenda is the shareholders' report, and that's on pages 29 to 36, and I'm going to hand over to Councillor Charles Getz.
Thank you. Item 6, the shareholders' report. The executive is asked to note the budget monitoring position for the month ending 31st of March 2018 and the operational update of the period up to 31st of March 2018 as well. To pick out the kind of key parts of this, the Council, as we've already talked about tonight, established a group of housing subsidiaries to provide affordable housing across the borough and also generate a financial return for the Council. The background to this is, of course, for the Council aiming to become increasingly self-sufficient. At a very high level headlines, Wokingham Housing has now handed over 125 new homes in the financial year to its sister companies Loddon and Berrybrook Housing, and will generate a profit of 1.1 million in 2018 to 19, and 60 further new homes with a profit of just short of 1 million. To talk briefly about Optilis, established to be a provider of adult care services, key objectives to reduce the cost of services commissioned by the council and provide a financial return again, while providing safe and good quality adult care services. And to date, £1 million per annum costs have been reduced from the cost of the council, and the business has expanded to from 11 to 40 million pounds per annum following a merger with the Royal Borough. The operational report on page 33 summarises where we're up to with sites and what's being delivered and what's coming. I'm not going to read it all out, it's all there for everyone to see. The headlines in terms of Optilis is the Optilis 2020 plan has been produced, which gives the strategic way forward for the company, and the meat and bones in terms of how we get there are now being put on that. And yes, I think that's it really. So, any questions?
Any questions? I think what's really important is, as you've outlined already, the success of the companies. They haven't, in terms of longevity, been running that long, but actually what they have provided is really fantastic homes for our residents, and they've provided extra care homes, key worker homes, and just recently, just last week, we went around to go and visit 52 Reading Road, which is providing homes for our children who are leaving care and supporting them into independence, and I think that's a really big success story. And I just wanted to finish on that note, because I think that's quite a tremendous achievement for our housing companies. So the recommendations are set out on page 29. So I'm ask all members who are in favour of the recommendations, there are two, to please raise their hands. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, the next item 7, is the revenue monitoring outturn report for 2017 to 2018, and it's page 37.
Thank you. Again, page 37, the executive is asked to note that the outturn position of the revenue budget and the level of balances in respect of the general fund, housing revenue account, schools block and the authority's investment portfolio, and 2, to agree the general fund carry forward requests of just under 1.6 million as set out in Appendix B. I think the headlines of this basically that I would bring out would be general fund outturn position is 814k overspend, which is 523k lower than was last reported to executive. The reasons for this are shown in the report. The housing revenue outturn position is just under budget, no change from the what was reported in the last executive. The schools block outturn, although overspent by 453,000, as a result of high needs pressures, is also more favourable than was reported in January. The Bury budget carry forwards are set out in Appendix B, and and they represent activities basically planned which are continuing into this year. So yes, that concludes.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Chairman. Just at the bottom of page 38, the last paragraph, do you have any more detail on the demand affecting the adverse variance that we've seen?
Yes, thank you, Councillor Murphy. I think we've already talked tonight about the statutory cost the council has to bear in terms of social care provision, and I quoted some figures earlier on. The level of demand is increasing rapidly and looks like it's only going to go up. An adult social care side of things, the number of people over 85 with dementia cases is now expected to increase by 135% up to 2035. On the children's side of things, from contacts and referrals that we're having to deal with, 5,250 in 2016 to 17, 2017 to 18, 6,908, an increase of 32%, and assessments up 16, 17, 986, 20th, up to 20th of July, 1,112, again another big increase, and we have a responsibility to look after these people and provide them with the support and the care that they need. And these are bills we have to pay and we have to find the money for.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much indeed. So the recommendations set out on page 37. There are 2 recommendations and ask all members to show their hands in favour of those recommendations as set out. Okay. The next item tonight, item 8, is the capital outturn report for 2017 to 18 on page 47. And hand over to Charles Margetts.
Thank you. The Executive is asked to note the capital outturn as set out in Appendix A and to approve the carry forwards into future financial years as set out in Appendix A also. Headlines on this, £89 million of investment in the year on things such as highways, infrastructure, regeneration, schools and affordable homes. This is 5 times as much as we were delivering 4 to 5 years ago. And this significant overall capital programme was delivered within budget, providing an actual underspend of 2.6 million, which shows we can take on this kind of project and keep control of the costs. The budget carry forwards for schemes into 2018-19 are listed at the back of the report, and again consist of planned work basically which rolls forward.
Thank you. Do any members have any questions? No. Okay. I think it's really significant what you're saying in terms of the scale of the work that are going on at the moment. Obviously, I alluded to it last week in the council speech that I gave. You know, we're in the middle of many great projects at the moment. Some of them do have hiccups along the way, and ask residents to bear with us while sometimes we're digging up a road which they use every single day or a couple of times a day, and it can be very difficult to live through major and significant projects that are being delivered. But in the end, when we get there, we are delivering fantastic things for this borough, brand new schools, country parks, really fantastic things, but there is disruption in order to deliver them. So the recommendations are set out on pages 47. There are 2 recommendations, and I ask again, all those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, item number 9 is the 21st Century Council update, page 57 to 62. And again, Councillor Charles Margetts.
Thank you. The Executive is recommended to note the progress in implementing the 21st Century Council programme. Headlines over this, I mean, 21st Century Council obviously is the essential change programme that's going through the whole council, trying to transform the way we deliver services and offer more options for residents over how to do it. I think the report here goes through exactly where we are now, and I just literally wanted to pick out the headlines which are listed at the bottom of page 59 in terms of things that are either here or coming very shortly. So new modern mapping software, schools admissions online, blue badges online, a new planning search and planning map facility, giving residents the opportunity to overview an area and see where planning applications are going on. The improved customer account facility, which now 30,000 residents have signed up for. New online payment system, council taxes online, benefits online, housing online service, the ability to manage and track planning applications online, improved online highways reporting, and also the intranet site for members, which is currently at prototype stage and will appear very shortly.
Thank you for that summary. Does anyone have any questions for Councillor Stuart Monroe?
That sounds very positive, Charles. Are there any, can you talk a little bit further about the development of the members area for information flow?
Sure. I mean, the members' intranet site is designed to put all resources for councillors in one place, so they can all be accessed straight away to solve that problem we've all had, basically, of trying to find out information and having to go to an officer, distract them for what they're doing, basically chase them up if they don't respond, get quicker responses back, basically, for residents, and speed up the whole process. I see it very much as passing as much information down and out to members and enabling them to be more responsive and give a better service to their residents.
Thank you very much indeed. Councillor Dynensky.
Thank you. I'm obviously concerned about some of our vulnerable members of the community who might not have access to IT, or maybe might be confused about the use of IT. What further developments have we progressed in ensuring that nobody's left out of the loop?
Thank you. Yes, I mean, as it says here, obviously, 21st Century Council, a lot of it is about improving the digital services that we offer. But it's not just about that. Basically, part of this is about going through all the processes that work internally in the council and streamlining them as much as possible, some by up to 50%. So in direct answer to your question, more vulnerable members of the community who necessarily do not want or are not able to use IT, there will still be a customer service team here, which will actually have an increased number of staff who are customer facing to help people who require services, and that will be available for anyone who wants to use it. So you are not obliged to use the IT, the option will still be available. And indeed, I was shown some data only a couple of days ago, basically, that call centre demand on the phone is like this. At the moment, static, even though staff are going up, but increased IT demand is like that. So this is giving us more capability to deal with more inquiries and respond quicker.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's very good news. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. So the recommendation is to note the progress and implementation of the 21st Century Council programme. So all those in favour of the recommendation on page 57? Thank you very much indeed. And that brings us to the end of the meeting this evening. Thank you very much indeed for all coming.